Hello everyone, good morning. I hope you all have a good beginning to the week. I personally did not have a wonderful beginning. I took this buy on Aussie dollar, um, just got stopped out. It could just turn around right now. I'll probably not be trading it anymore. But why the trade was taken, where the trade was taken, I'm going to explain it to you guys quickly. So if you take a look at where the market opened today, here, went through all of this, and all of this starting down here all the way up to there is one buy, right? And down to 15 seconds looks like it's just pulling back, right? This is also one buy, but the buyer does come back on a lower time frame from here. So let's just go lower and see what happened to the price action. The reason why I believe that I got stopped out and I believe that it's still a buy. I'll probably not be taking it, but the reason why I got stopped out is because it's a higher time frame, still a seller, right? Although it tried to make a lower low, it failed, got a massive rejection. So this is also termed as one of the things that are back in the back of the head, that this could continue to buy. Even 240 has a new buyer all the way up to there. But on a lower time frame, let's take a look at what happened. Okay, so as the buy came in, pulled back, went higher high. Let me just get rid of all of these brushes. Okay, so uh, pulled back, went higher high, and then it started to pull back. Lower high, lower low sequence, right? Lower low, I'm sorry, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And as it kept making lower highs, lower lows in the process of this lower high, lower low sequence on this time frame, you can see that the price ranged for a little while, then pushed lower, pulled back, held, pushed lower, pulled back. So it's this buyer now. I'm sorry, this seller now. It pulled back, made a lower low. So to my understanding, it's this seller now. When the buyer comes back up, goes through this, holds, puts in a higher high and a higher low, right? So according to my understanding, my buyer is back and it starts to hold in here. Well, I entered in here because this is the last bit of sell that happened. If you can see, this is the last bit of sell that happened and the price should not go lower than this. Tried to hold multiple times, but then failed. Now, if it comes back inside and then tests, that's a different story. But for now, for the time being, stopped out, not going to take another trade on this. As we discussed in the weekly analysis, that Monday could be a slow day because there's not a lot of stuff happening on the economic calendar. It's just one, two, three, four, five, six events, a speech, stuff like that. So I'll be standing by to see what the price does on this. But so far, it's stopped out, and will be disciplined. Will not be trading it anymore today.
2 hours later.
So this is an update on the Aussie dollar trade that I took a little while before London during Frankfurt Open. Um, it is starting to go now. So what I wanted to explain in this update video is that the trade is basically coming from the Aussie group, not the dollar group, right? And there were better trades on Aussie. So I'm not sure if I discussed this during the previous video, that when the market opened today, just took out whatever happened last week on Friday, right? It took it out, and now it's just going. Let me show you a much better trade on Aussie, that is pound Aussie. So take a look at this. It's the same area. The thing that I always talk about, correlation. If you take a look at the timestamp up in here, it's 11:45 my time. That is where the entry could have been taken, maybe 12 also. And if you come back to Aussie dollar, same time 11:45, it was down here, and then 12, it just did another extra push. The reason why it did an extra push is because dollar was also strong coming in from Friday in last week. Dollar was also strong. That is why I mean pound is much weaker than dollar. If you take a look at pound dollar, it has done a sell today, although there were no real entries on this, but the sell did happen, right? That shows you, and it made a lower low. That shows you that dollar is much stronger than pound. And if you take a look at pound Aussie, oh, it's gone too far. What a wonderful trade! You enter here, your stop loss is here, and then you're taking profits out in here, and then it's going lower low, right? And then Aussie dollar is buying. The rest of the Aussies too. Aussie Swiss franc is buying. Aussie yen is buying. Going. It's gonna come up into here. Euro Aussie selling. Take a look at this. So it's basically the trade was coming from the Aussie group. I just wanted to make that clear. It's because if I show you all the Aussies, right? Market open, this period separated that you see, this line. This is the market open today. Market opened, it just ranged for a little bit, and then a new seller was introduced into the markets. Pound Aussie, uh, market opened, bought for a little while, and then a new seller was introduced into the markets. Aussie dollar, same thing. Market opened, it's sold, and then a new buyer was introduced into the markets. Aussie Swiss franc, market opened, it's sold, and then a new buyer was introduced into the markets that went through all of this. Aussie yen, market opened, sold, and then a buyer came in that went through all of this. So a new buyer is introduced into the markets. I think that's pretty much about it for the Aussies. I am probably done trading for today. Will not come back to the charts. Been watching it on and off. Look at this massive trade. Look at this massive trade. So where I went wrong was Aussie was the analysis on Aussie was correct in terms of Aussie strength, but the analysis on dollar was a little weak. So I mean I should have gone through um, my personal analysis that was done on Sunday, where I mentioned that I'll be looking for pound weakness to begin with, because all the pounds, if you take a look at all the pounds as we discussed in the weekly analysis video, all the pounds look like they are going to get weak, and then the price action on this is just so perfect. It just the seller came in, went all the way down to there. It's arguable if this is a pullback or not, doesn't matter. Starts to put in higher highs and higher lows. Buyer comes in, holds, higher high, holds, higher high, holds, higher high, goes. Oh my god, it's just dropping. It's dropping so fast that the chart starts to move. If you know, if you've spent enough time on the charts, you'd see this type of movement on the chart. The chart basically starts to move. It looks like that the chart is moving. I'm not sure if I'm able to express this correctly or not, but okay. Anyway, holds, higher high, holds, higher high, holds, higher high, holds, higher high. Seller comes back. The buyer tries to buy, cannot buy, goes lower low. Ranges for a little while, comes back to take the stop losses, grab liquidity, whatever you want to call it. There's a perfect entry in here. If I uh, remove all of these brushes and try and mark the entry, there is an absolutely perfect entry in here. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm just, a little sad about what Aussies did to me. So take a look at this. Perfect entry. Perfect entry. It just keeps buying, right? As it comes back up from in here. Let me take you back to 3 minutes so that you can see what I'm marking. This area, right? As it starts to come back up to grab liquidity or stop loss on, or whatever you want to call it, just goes higher. So it won't sell from here, right? This is a very important piece I'm putting out there. It's not gonna sell from here. Why? Because everyone is looking to get in on the sells, and this is where the stop losses are, right? Because if you take a look at 3 minutes, you'd be able to see that this is a seller that makes a lower low. So everyone, the smart money or the people who understand what the markets are trying to do, they're getting in on the sells, and the stop losses are up in here, maybe up in here. I'm not really sure, but see what happens on the lower time frame, right? So as it comes up, as it comes up aggressively, people are still holding on to their sells with stop losses up in here, and then it buys aggressively. It buys aggressively, it takes them out, it holds, tries to go higher high. If we go down to 15 seconds and mark what the buyer is trying to do, keep this area in your mind. I'm going to mark it here. Keep this area in your mind, and then I'm going to remove all of these brushes. Okay, keep this in your mind. Okay, here we go. So as it comes up into here, everyone is holding on to the sells. As this buys and takes out the stop losses, everyone is turning into a buyer. It holds, puts in a higher high, comes back down, holds the same low, goes higher high, and then boom, seller comes back all the way down to there. It's so clear. And then a test to it, it just continued to go down afterwards. Mm, I I could have traded it again here. There's an entry in here too because it's gone through everything. But I was too caught up with watching Aussie dollar that, and also I just wanted to stay disciplined, so did not take this trade. Anyway, wanted to explain to you guys what was the best trade available on Aussies today. Again, coming from the market open where a new seller was introduced on this chart, that's basically an Aussie buyer, if that makes sense. All right, cheers, guys.